Welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast, a member of the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're streaming live via Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Bringing you the latest in fishing tips, gear reviews with our friend from Payne Outdoors, Payne, as well as some local and regional tournament news. We'll bring you on some special guests to talk kayak fishing. Now, let's join John Rapp, your host. Hey guys, welcome to episode 41 of the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. I'm John Rapp, the host. I am sitting here at my favorite location. I'm here at the Brownstone Room. Steve and Mary are gracious enough to let me come over and utilize their banquet room. Hey, Heath Mullins, thanks for joining in, brother. Make sure you set up your camera, get comfortable. I may give you a buzz here shortly. But I'm here at the Tractor Bar again, and I've been up this way now at least the last 7, 8, maybe 9 episodes. It's been a great environment. Everything works well here, and it's real close to the house, so I enjoy being here. But if you get the opportunity, like Keith did, comment, like, share, and follow the event, the show. So I'm getting info from Blaine. I sent him a message here, trying to get the latest scoop on what's going on, but with his Angler of the Year awards, Jason Plummy down at Southern West Virginia hasn't released that data yet, and he's holding it until their awards banquet. So I suspect that we will see or hear from Blaine in the near future. Jonny Carte, jump on the couch. I may give you a call here shortly. I'm running solo tonight, guys. I didn't call anybody, didn't bother anybody, didn't even try to get guys signed up and registered for the show tonight. It's been a little hectic at the workplace, but trying to get everything ready, but I think I got it. Little announcements, guys. All you guys, I would love for you to send me a message and say, hey, John, I want to get involved with the Scream-O-Ween edition in 2 weeks. So if you got a costume, or if you download Snapchat on your computer and use a Snapchat filter, cover your face up with a mask of any type. You know, it's easy to do. Like here, I'll show you. You see me here, but then I'm going to go with my old man face. Okay. That's the old man face. Here's the pirate one. That's the one I'll probably be in a couple weeks. And then I call that dude. You know, that's my dude face. You know, gnarly dude, surfer, fisherman. And then got the beard. You know, I'm working on that. You know, I should have something like this, real close and similar here in the next couple weeks. I'm going to grow it out until the first of the year. It's Christmas time. So, but anyway, that's how that works. Let me get back. Well, I don't know what I did here. Let me see. I got to get off these. Dude, there we go. Back to normal. But yeah, I would love. I've already got Randy Newton, possibly, and some other names that I will not call out that said they will come and join, but you won't know who they are because they'll be filtered up, masked up, costumed up. And we're going to talk about trick-or-treating, fishing, the tricks of the trade, things of that nature. And then once somebody talks about what they do and how they do and where they fish at, we'll all try to figure out who they are. You know, just fun, just to have a good time. We don't have to be serious all the time, guys. We can have fun. Let's have some fun. It's been a long fishing season. So, with that note, I wanted to talk about, I've been sitting down, writing up my end-of-year assessments because I want to send, where I am on the competitive fishing team with Feelfree. I'm also on the pro team fishing team with Yak Gadget. So I want to send them a little bit of information on what I did right, what I did wrong, where I finished, how their products performed, and just do a recoup. I guess in the military terms, you could call it an after-action review for not just a battle, but for the whole season, the war or whatever. So I'm writing that up, and while I was doing that, I made a few notes, looking at my stats for this year. And I look for, guys, I want your feedback. I want to know where you guys found your strengths and where you found your weaknesses, and maybe I can learn from you. We all know in fishing, we learn from each other. There's a wheel, right? You don't need to recreate it. So don't recreate it. Learn from somebody else. Their rod stagers and junk drawers play big for me. Is that for Yak Gadget, Blaine? That's good info. I have their junk drawer, but it's a pain in the rear end in the way I have my Moken set up right now. I can't put it all the way back, but I do have about 4 other products that I use on my boat. I got my NK180 backboard. I got the side rail. I've got a cup holder. I've got their phone holder. I've got 4 or 5. A good deal, Blaine. Thanks, buddy. And still waiting to hear the good news. Well, looking forward to hearing Jason's announcement on you winning. We know you did. But okay, so let me pull up a screen here. I hope I got it the right one. There we go. So, guys, if y'all use Tourney X, Dwayne Wally about 5 years ago created a feature on his program. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a competitive fisherman. And a lot of the guys I know that watch this show, like Blaine, John, Heath's gotten into it here pretty hard the past couple of years. But I know Blaine and Jonny, they've been in it for the last 7-8 years. And you're going to have a resume built. And, this program builds everything for you. So you can see my 2022 year. I only had 40 fish. I had one first place finish, and that was an online event with paddle and fin. I had top 10 finishes. I had 5. I only fished 11 events this year, so I'm pretty proud of that. But when I sat down, looked at everything, you could see where I started falling apart. And I don't know, guys, if it has something to do with where I'm 56 years old, work full time, and try to make time to do these. If age is an issue, if I'm not getting enough sleep, rest, if I'm not preparing properly. But I can tell you, in April, hey Greg, that's my boy Greg. We got some announcements Greg's going to be putting out soon. You guys are going to love it. So make sure you're following Greg and the WVKA page. And Greg was part of this that I'm referring to. Is I started my season in April, and I went to the Paddle and Fin 2-day tournament down in Del Hollow. And guys, that's coming up in April. You need to put your vacation in now for a whole week, for the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd. So you might want to take off like the 18th through the 24th. The houseboats that we stay on are $50 a night. You sleep great. You got electricity to charge your batteries. You can dock your boat right on the water if you don't want to drive around the lake. You can fish right there at Eastport Marina and go around there and fish. Plenty of places to go to. But I'm telling you right now, that Paddle and Fin tournament is a great time. Greg Kupfner, if you're on here, he can second that. We had a blast for the whole week we were down there. And Blaine, Jonny, John, you and Melissa need to come down. But, John Abshire went. Brandon Honecker went. Me and Gillespie, Greg and Phil, we all had just an absolute blast, had a good time. So you get to meet a lot of good people that you talk to all the time on Facebook in the industry from Ohio, Illinois. The Paddle and Fin guys, Brian Schiller, his group, they're based out of Illinois. But these guys got relationships all over the nation, and they develop a lot of relationships. He has 11 guys, including me now, that do a podcast and upload it to their platform every day. Brian hustles. That's one of the reasons why it is a must thing to do. And John, I'm telling you, we all know the world record smallmouth come from Dale Hollow, but as Greg can attest to, the spots down there are wicked. They will smack everything in sight on the Eastport Marina area. Jonny Abshire, who finished really well, he was in the smallmouth up in the river. So it's a good time, and I highly recommend it. For the money, you can't beat it because it's $50 a night. You're right on the water, and I'm telling you, yeah, I didn't catch a smallmouth either, Greg. So, but going through my resume and talking and doing my evaluation, I had a good tournament down there. And when I sit down and I think about that, it was my preparation. I pre-fished. I was down there the week. I had everything that I could think of in my truck that I packed up. And I packed up and I organized, so when I went down there, I would have everything where I could find it quickly. So, I had a Bixby. See, what was I using? Bixby. I was using my Bixby motor drive. And yes, Greg Kupfner, I love you, brother, because you point out the obvious when it comes to old John Rapp. It was the moonshine. Because, I tell everybody, it's my secret when I go to places like that. And I failed to do that. My West Virginia kayak angler family knows me well enough that prior to tournament night, they stay away from me because they know I'm trying to sabotage them. So when they're out on the water, they can't concentrate, they can't fish well, and it's the moonshine. But the guys down at Dale Hollow, all them Illinois, Ohio, and Tennessee guys, they haven't learned that lesson from me yet. And I think Greg can tell you, and Phil, Jeffrey Parrott, a Tennessee boy, will never forget us. So, but yeah, so then, so I finished 7th out of that, let's see, there were, anyway, we'll go back over here and I'll show you guys. You can go down and look at your personal best fish. You can customize it with your boats and your photo. But there's your all-time history. So on Tourney X, I fished almost 140 tournaments, and my team tournaments that we've ran. And then right here, it'll go from the last tournament and your rankings. So the Paddle and Fin Dale Hollow, I was 7th out of 43. It's the bottom of the bottom line there. And then we came home and we did our Stonewall tournament, and everybody remembers how nasty the weather was at Stonewall. But I was able to get enough fish there, and I caught my biggest smallmouth of the year, an 18.5 fat smallie over at Stone Cold. Again, preparation was probably the key there, but I did fail because when I came back from Dale Hollow, I unpacked my truck, but everything was still in the containers, so it was pretty well organized. But when I went up to Stonewall, I forgot my kill switch for my Bixby. So I scrambled, went to Walmart, and I found little magnets. I bought every magnet I could find in there and took them out, and I kept playing with them, and I've got one to work. Was able to get my motor drive and get out and fish, but it fell off the magnet fell off my motor on the way back, so I had to paddle from where I was at. That's when I saw Storm Carver and Mikey Holcomb They were using their high-speed, high-dollar Hobies and motors to bust back to the bank. And luckily for me, when I was following Storm in, he fished a tree line, and he jumped out of there real quick. And after he cast in there, and then I followed him in and threw in a TRD and caught a largemouth in there that probably saved my tournament. Then I only did 2 on lines with WVK this year, so Greg, I failed you there, buddy, and that was April and May. I thought I did more than that, but apparently I didn't. I only did 4 on lines the whole year. I did a P&F in May and a WVK in May, and I did the Feelfree Summer Slam, and then I did one more. Who was that? Oh, the Socks and Cookies event, and I didn't even fish that. I just signed up for it because I wanted to, as you guys know, and how we just did an episode with Shannon Modisette. I wanted to contribute to the cause. So those were the only on lines, and let's see, I finished 9th out of 71 for the May online. Let's see over here. April online was 20th out of 39. In the paddle and fin tournament, I actually won it, so that was my one victory of the year. I had no intentions of winning it. I just signed up for it to add to the pot. Paddle and fin new tournaments are they're only, I think, $5 or $10 buy-in. They're designed to get people into the sport. And but we did a Lake Erie trip, and I went with Greg, my buddy Greg Kupfner, Buddy Vance. We all know how Buddy is. Buddy Vance, and he is one hell of a fisherman. And again, he finished second for the West Virginia Kayak Anglers Angler of the Year tournament or season. He has done that more than once. I think he also finished second in 2019. He's always in the top 5 or 10 of the WVKA fishing peeps. But we had a great time. They set up a house, so so basically, part of this episode, what this is all about is I'm planning for 2023. I'm evaluating what I did, writing everything down, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm wanting to do for 2023. Looking forward to 2023. I'm going back to Dale Hollow, and I'm going back to Lake Erie, and if all goes well, I will have a lot of time on my hands to go to Lake Erie and spend a lot of time up there. And I'm going to drag my camper. So when we do go up and get the house with Greg and him, hopefully I'll be up there a little bit of time before that with my camper, get some fishing in, and then we'll go from there. But Greg, I'm in. Looking forward to it. Guys, Lake Erie during May, when those smallmouth, the big smallmouth, are moving in to spawn, it is an absolutely fantastic time to be there. Now, granted, we didn't have the best weather, but we didn't have bad weather. It wasn't earth-shattering winds, rains, or nothing like that. So we got lucky in Dale Hollow and up in Erie in April and May. So my June was when it started falling apart for me. You can see over to the right, I started let's see, the Elk River Open. Well, it flooded, so we were on Sutton, and that we interviewed Mark Edwards on the show at that time for his win there, and how he was throwing a spinnerbait up where the river starts into the lake there. I can't think of that campground up there, but he was up there. I fished around the marina, and I ended up leaving by the dam where I put in probably around 11:30. those storms that caused all that rain that knocked out my power, and I started thinking about everything and was worried about stuff in my freezer. And Baker's John, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Johnny. And so I left, and I left early and only had 3 fish I think I put on the board. So, I don't even know if I uploaded them. I caught 3. I might not even uploaded them, but that's why I finished so poorly there. SummerSlam. Then July, man, dude, July was a great month. Put 11 days on the road. Fished Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, West Virginia, of course. Packed up the truck, went down to Knoxville, spent some time with my boy Jay Randall. Going to see you this Saturday, Jay, or Sunday. Going down to Tennessee this weekend. Go see some sights at Dollywood, Gatlinburg with Beffy. And I'm going to see Jay. Might see Rod Snyder, but from Frontier Outdoors. Good friends there. But I stayed at Jay's. I met Brian. Then we went to Alabama. We picked up Jimmy. And then the next 14 hours we drove from Huntsville to Fellsmere. Fished all that next day, and I didn't catch a fish. It was awful. We got off the water probably about 2:33. The huge Florida thunderstorm with lightning was blowing at us, and we all got off the water as fast as we could. We made it to the ramp in time, but I got some video of Jimmy and of me and Brian fishing. Brian found a little school of fish that we were able to hit, and I realized, man, that's a whole different type of fishing. These dudes were using Senkos the size of my finger. Okay. Hey, Tommy. And thanks for jumping in here with me, Big Daddy. But they were using big old Senkos, like a 5/0 hook, and I'm over there using a 3/0 hook with just a regular old Senko. I was throwing a square bill, throwing a top water, wasn't having any luck, dragging a lizard. But I still enjoyed it. But as soon as we got off the water, we packed up, and then we drove from Fellsmere over to Crystal River, which was about a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive, because we were about 2 hours south of Orlando, and then we had to go northeast or northwest of Orlando to Crystal River. We got to our room over there, and then the next day, again, stormy weather here and there, but we chartered with Captain Joe. I'm drawing a blank on her name. But let me see. I'll look it up here. Katie Joe? Yeah, I think it's Katie Joe. Yeah, Katie Joe. It's Katie Joe. And she took us out on the water. We had a great time. We caught a bunch of fish, a bunch of video. I mean, had a blast. While other captains were dragging their people in because of the thunderstorms at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we got there, we were going out on the water about 7. We went out. She saw the storms coming in. She was watching the radar. She's like, God, she didn't like it. We ran back to the dock. She tied up. We sat in the truck for about 30 minutes. It blew through. While everybody else was packing their stuff up and leaving, we were waiting for it to blow out. We went out and fished. Had a great time. Got caught in a couple little storms, but she was able to run around them and move around them in her quick little boat, and we had a great time. So if you're looking for something, look for Katie Joe. She's on my Facebook page. I'll leave a link for you guys if you're looking to do something down that way. Then it was ICAST, and I had a blast at ICAST. I got to see everybody. We have such a great group of people in the kayak fishing world. I am blessed that I got into this sport 8 years ago, and as you can see with my resume, I've fished a hell of a lot of tournaments, and the tournament scene was huge for me in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Probably started dying off around 1920. Then when I passed WVK to Greg, and as you can tell from the amount of events this year, when I sat down and looked at this, I was really shocked how I only did 11 tournaments. But, didn't do anything in July because I traveled. But, I want to, I think that's probably how I'm going to do things in the future. I fish WVK when I can go to their events, and I will do more of the online. And if I am, well, I'll just say fully retired and not working next year, I'll have more time to do things and help Greg when Greg needs help, help the paddle and fin boys, and get out on the water. Going to do those honeydew things that I've been putting off. I'm going to redo my basement. We'll do something, hopefully, in the next year. I have Elon Musk's SpaceX technology where I can get internet at the house, and I don't have to come up here and bother these guys here at the tractor bar and take up space. I'm using a hotspot, and that's how I'm doing this. Obviously, it works great. So, but yeah, 2022. It wasn't my best year. So, let's take a quick break, and then I'm going to call some folks. I'm going to get some thoughts on what they thought of their 2022 season and where they felt like they succeeded, where they failed, and what they're looking forward to in 2023. If you're online, I may buzz you up. So, man, sit down, get relaxed, and I hope you'll answer the messenger. Yak Gadget, proudly supplying you with American-made products and gear. Check out yakgadget.com. Ace Resort, West Virginia's #1 destination for whitewater, hiking, ziplining, and more. Check out aceraft.com. Westbrook Supply Company, Georgia's #1 go-to kayak fishing supply store. Gear, accessories, and custom rigging. Look them up, westbrooksupplyco.com. Payne Outdoors, a custom plastic maker, design consultant, product reviewer, and outdoor writer. Check out more at payneoutdoors.com. Feelfree Kayaks. Paddle, pedal, or power, there's something for everyone. Check out feelfreeus.com. Oh, we're back. Got me getting me some refreshments because, man, I don't think I've ever talked so much. And that's one of the things I've always promised you is that I'm not a talker. I don't want to talk. I want to hear from you, and we discuss things. So it's that time. All right. First crank call of the night. Let's see if they'll pick up. Hey.
Oh, John.
Oh, let me get to the right screen. There we go. Guys and gals, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. This is our good friend, Jonathan Carte, Charleston, West Virginia. John, you've been in the sport for a while, brother. You fish to all the clubs. You fish a lot. You've had a hell of a, you scared us at the beginning of the year. You had some issues, but you've conquered those, and then you come out and you stormed WVKA here for, I want to say, probably your best finish ever, is it?
It is.
Well, outstanding. You finished, what, 5th?
For the season, no, 11th.
11th, okay. Okay.
Yep.
I was thinking it was higher than that. But, so, Johnny, tell us, like you've been watching the show and you hear me rambling about your season, your tournaments, how when you sit and reflect on it, where you succeeded, where you failed, where you can do better, and what you plan on doing for 2023.
Well, 2023 is just going to be more than what I did this year. This year I was fortunate enough to be on the water, so I made it about being on the water.
Yes, definitely. And we needed you out there, buddy.
Yep, but my biggest thing this year, I've had 3 tournaments that I've missed being in the top 10 by 1 fish. And I've missed all those fish at the boat, so that hurts.
So I'm gonna say that for 2023, your top priority is to fish clean.
Yes.
Okay. I can understand that because that was, why I did so terrible in Jackson County on day one. I came in with 4 fish. I should have had 5, and actually, of the 4 fish, I had 1 disqualified because a seasoned angler like me should not be making finger placement mistakes in a photo. Because
We're in there.
yeah, I mean, I had him laying on the board between my legs, and he was a 12-inch fish. He didn't want to cooperate. Had 30 minutes left in the tournament, and as he was flopping, I had my camera up, and I just stuck my hand down there, and I grabbed him. You know how you pull them up and get their mouth closed, and then I just ran my fingers down his body, and I snapped the pictures. Well, both of my index finger was in that no man's zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew Blaine was, I think he was one of our judges. I knew he was going to DQ it, and he did. So, and then I had a 16-inch on my board, and I'm long ways again. I have a unibar that I put on my boat where I can put my cameras and stuff, and my water drinks and everything. And as I lifted my camera up to take the picture, the fish, the tail was underneath the bar, so I couldn't get the angle to get a good picture to get that 16 mark. So I lifted my leg up, put my camera down, and all that at the same time, that fish out into the water. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That did not just happen. And then I lost a couple of nice fish getting them to the boat, trying to net them. So it was just one of those days.
Jackson County, I catch fish there all year long. When it comes tournament time, I bomb every time. I couldn't find a fish to save my life.
So, brother, we're looking at, in 2023, you're looking to fish clean. Fish clean. What else?
Yep.
And fish more.
Yep.
God willing, you're able to. We're all able to. What else are you looking at? Hey, you saw, and you hit it. You posted. You typed Dale Hollow is on my bucket list. I'm telling you, brother, right now. I'm telling you, you and Melissa need to say, okay, vacation here, April this week. We are going to Dale Hollow, and I guarantee you'll have a good time. The houseboats are right on the water. It's a big houseboat, nice little room. Both of you guys can sleep in. Out on the deck, you can leave your stuff out and charge your batteries, or you can charge them in the main living room. Only about a 100-foot walk is the restaurant and the bait shop, the gear shop.
I planned on it this year, but we wound up buying the house. We moved in here in April,
That's
right.
That's right. So yeah, guys, you guys. Mark your calendars. All you get WVK guys, West Virginia peeps, you need to mark your calendars for that. You have a good time. And I mean, it is a 2-day tournament, and you can treat it as a tournament, or you can treat it as a vacation. I always treat it as a vacation. I go down and fish all week, and if I do well in the tournament, it's a plus. If I don't, I don't care. And I think that may be part of my problem, Johnny, for this past year was. I went to the tournaments, and my goal wasn't, I didn't care. I didn't care how I finished. My main goal was to see people like you and talk to people, socialize, and just have a good time.
Well, that's me. I just showed up to fish this time.
Yeah.
This year, and we fished the Southern tournament the weekend before. I'd got my 5. Melissa was struggling to get her last fish, and I pushed her for the last hour and a half. I just sat back and rode around and said, go get them.
Amen.
It's 5th fish.
Was she female angler for the tournament? Or
yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, she actually, she really has come along the last several years, because I can remember at Summersville that one year you were up there and you brought her up, and I'm like, come on, you need to sign up and fish. We got a lot of women. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Now you can't keep her off the water. She's out there with everybody. Hammer.
No, if I'm telling her I'm going, she's there.
Yeah, I love it, man.
she's working. She's not happy that I'm going without her. So yeah, she got 3 top females this year, so she's happy.
Well, that's outstanding. Outstanding.
Yep.
Hey, Michael, hang tight, Big Daddy. I'm going to give you a buzz here when me and Jonny are done. So, yeah, man. So, 2023, fish clean, fish more.
Yep.
I know you got a new rig, so I guess you're
Yep.
going to be working on your new rig over the winter, getting it ready to be top-notch for next year.
Just got the new Yak Attack box in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Which size did you get?
I got the 16 by 16 in the green.
Oh, look there. Okay, so I tell you what, you're going to be with the next victim here later in a couple of months when we start going garage, because I see you have a well-organized garage with all your fishing equipment. You and Mikey Holcomb and all them guys.
Right now it's trashed.
So is mine, brother. So is mine. Okay, man. Hey, appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, man.
Nothing but love for you, Melissa, and I look forward to talking to you, seeing you more, and fishing with you all next year.
Yep, we'll be there.
All right, brother.
Okay, later.
All right. So, hey, that was my boy Jonny Carte. He's the total package. I appreciate you and being a good sport, jumping on with us. Speaking of another good sport, got to spend some time with him up at the Jackson County this weekend. Not a whole lot of time, but talking about a good-looking boy he's got. He's a 16-year-old boy, but he's going to be a good-looking young man. And let's see if I can find Mikey. Michael. I'm trying to find you, brother. There you are. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys. Crank call number 2. Call him another WVK angler. There he is. There he is.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, man, slide your phone to the landscape for me. There we go.
What do you need,
Oh, there we go. Now we get to see all of you there now.
There you go.
All that beautiful fisherman right there.
It's been a day getting ready for the Susquehanna.
Oh, man, tell us about that. So that's what
So the native Big Bass Power Hour on the Susquehanna this weekend. Going to head up there Friday afternoon. Just take a look at it. It's always been on my dream to fish, and it's a good time of the year, I think, to hit it. So
oh yeah.
You want to go up? I think we've got a couple guys from West Virginia I see that are possibly going to make that trip. So we're going to go up there and hopefully represent for the Dub V and catch some big smallies.
Are you friends with Sean Livery?
I am not.
Okay, go look him up. He's one of the paddle and fin guys. He lives on the Susquehanna, and he fishes it all the time. He might be able to give you some insight on any water that you plan on hitting.
Okay.
Great guy, Sean Lavery. So, Mikey, your 2022 season, how many clubs did you fish with? Did you fish all 3, or just WKA?
So I fished the KBF.
Okay.
I fished the Appalachian Kayak Anglers Bass Series for Maryland. It's eastern part of West Virginia, Maryland. Anthony Fitzgerald and I both fished that club.
Okay.
And West Virginia Kayak Anglers, and I fished some of the Southern West Virginia Kayak Angler Opens this year as well.
Now, where you're over in what county you live in? Mineral? Or
Marion.
Marion. Okay. So okay.
Fairmont, West Virginia.
Okay. I knew it was in that location, and I didn't want to give out. But hey, I'm sure you're not worried about it.
So this is my first. This is like my rookie year of trail events. I did some online events for the KBF last year, and I'm still learning. I fell in love with it, fishing from a kayak. I've always loved fishing. But I spread myself a little thin this year, and I think that really hurt me across the board in all my clubs.
Yeah.
Having to miss events to fish these events and really just try to spread the wealth. But at the same time, I fished a lot of water in a lot of different places, and I've met a lot of great people that I call friends along the way. You one of those, Mr. Rapp, and it's been a constant learning experience.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, and I'll tell you, it's been a joy to. I got to spend some time, you and your son. Got to watch him chow down on some grub and watch the Marshall game there at the camp. And
That's my sidekick. He's really kind of jumped into this kayak thing, and he's done a few tournaments. He's paid for some tournaments. He's dabbed on his feet in some of the online stuff this year.
Good.
And I'm trying to get him possibly convinced to join WVKA next year and fish some trail events with us and actually compete. He's there anyway. Might as well compete.
Well, yeah, and you know what? We have a title that he could win quite easily if he shows up and is consistent and is that's our youth angler of the year. And you know, we've had several young men that have won that and moved on and become really good anglers as adults. Great way, and you know, he's a good-looking kid. I mean, big old strong kid. I'm sure
he's a good kid. Yeah, his strength definitely comes in handy. With my age and dragging that Titan around, I don't know what I'd do without him.
Oh, so. I know exactly what you're saying there. So 2022, based off what you were just saying, one of your failures is you spread yourself thin. Where do you feel it? And your successes was you got to get out and meet people that share your passion. What else would you consider a success?
I think between focusing on the KBF Challenge Series and a lot of that's jumped around, and just trying to keep up with all that's been crazy this year. But with AKAC being a Bass Series club, I was really kind of focused and kind of had a goal to make it to the Bassmaster Classic.
Right.
I've kind of switched directions here as the years developed, and now that some points have come out, and I realize, you know, I did spread myself thin. Next year, I really want to devote more time to you guys, to WVKA, to my home club. I feel like I would have done better in points and learned some more of my local home waters, and I think that's important for some of the bigger aspects of things as I do my travels. And the waters definitely seems to be a little tougher here than the other places that I fish, so I'm not going to spread myself so thin. I'm not going to go to the Maryland Bass State Championship, even though I've made it there. I'm going to turn my focus to the best of the best, first ever best of the best state championship, and hopefully do a good show out there to represent us. And I'm very fortunate to have made that roll down. So next year I need to fish cleaner, continue to learn and keep an open mind and learn. And Mark Edwards and Mikey Holcomb and Storm Carver have been huge.
Yeah.
Part of my, I mean, Mark and I have talked for hours, and I'm just trying to learn what I can, buddy.
Yeah, man, I hear you. And you know, you can't. Those guys that you named off, Jody Queen, you can't go wrong with those slate of fishermen to learn from. And you know, that's the great thing about fishing. Even an average angler is going to teach you a technique that, like, oh wow, I never thought about that. I may have to add that to my repertoire. You know, and something you can throw out that might catch a fish that could put you from 20th to 10th and in the money, or in a higher points bracket, you know, and kick you into an area where, like it has happened for you, and congratulations for making this best of the best. To be able to fish that is something you should be proud of. It shows that, one, you are consistent. Two, you did follow through with one of the clubs and make the top 12, whether it's a roll down or not. Because the one thing about the West Virginia clubs is so many of the guys fish all three, and especially very competitive guys. That's all they want to do every weekend.
Right.
But congratulations, man. I'm really tickled to hear that. Appreciate you jumping on here with me, and going to do an
Thanks for having me, John.
Hey, going to do an episode in 2 weeks if you want to jump in with me. It's going to be the Scream-A-Ween edition. We're going to have a group page of all kinds of anglers. If you guys got costumes, put them on and let people try to figure out who you are. And we'll talk.
This sounds good, buddy.
We'll talk fishing. But anyway,
All right, take care.
God bless you, brother.
You too.
Hey, that was
Bye-bye.
Mikey Ridenour. God bless that young man. I appreciate him jumping on with me. Him and his son, they're top-notch people. I was really glad to be able to interact with him this year, get to meet him, talk with him. I talked with him more online, like we all do when it comes to Facebook and our other platforms. But getting to meet people, which is one of the great things about going to these live events all over the nation, you got to love it. And John Carte is absolutely right. There is a wealth of knowledge in our club to learn from. And there's a reason why we have guys like Jody Queen who travel all over the nation and do have success. Like the New River tournament last month. Jody fished it. He won it. And, he was like, hey, it's on my home waters. I wanted to fish it. And then he came to this tournament. And he was telling me, hey, I saw it pop up. I love this lake, and I want to stay fresh. I want to keep my craft solid because I got another tournament up. So he wanted to get tuned up. Now, if you go look at Jody's stats, last year he fished Jackson County, and he finished fourth. This year he finished first. After he fished the tournament with us that he won down on the New River, he went to, I think it was a Hobie tournament with over 100 some anglers. Close to 200. He finished 20th. He was right in the money, right in the thick of things. So, Jody Queen, God bless you, buddy, and keep it up. We love you. Let's see. We've been on almost 50 minutes, so I guess we'll go ahead and sign off. I want to stress to everybody that you guys check our schedule out. I'm going to tell you right now, April 22nd, 23rd, Paddle and Fin, Del Hollow for a week. You got it. You need to go. It's there is a 2-day tournament, so you can make it as a tournament trip and try to win some money, but also take it as a time to get away, start your season, get everything broke in before we start our tournament season in West Virginia, or get the major part of it kicked in. So. Then Greg will tell you, you pay attention to Greg and the guys. There's going to be another Lake Erie trip, and you might want to get your hat in that trip. That was probably all three of those trips that I did from April to July were the highlight of my year. Had a great time doing those. So I look forward to 2023 and duplicating those because definitely going to happen. I'm definitely going to go to Paddle and Fin in April. I'm going to go back to Erie at the end of May, and I'm going to ICAST again in July. So if it's another road trip, fishing trip, it's going to happen. And look forward to everybody I cross paths with during those events. We got WVK season coming up, so make sure you join us. Watch for Greg Kuffner to make an announcement here in the next day or two. It's coming. Season has been a great season. We got a couple of big tournaments in the state. I wish everybody well, and I'm going to be hoping to get a few of you on here, and we talk kayak fishing for the end of the year. Stay safe, guys. In 30 minutes, 8 o'clock, in 40 minutes, at 8 p.m. If you guys are still on Facebook, jump over to the Feelfree Fishing Team page. We're going to do a live broadcast there. So, see you there. Thank you, Philip. Hey, Sierra. It's the power couple right there.